Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in our last video, we learned about two-step GR process in SAP MM. We learned that how we can do a two-step GR through movement type 103 and 105. We also learned that when we post 103, no stock updation happens and no FI document get posted. Both of these activities are done when we do 105 document. And this type of a process we do when we have our material subject for inspection. If the inspection activity is to be done on the material before posting any FI documents or updating the stock, then we use 103 and 105 document type. Now, if you haven't seen that video, then I have given the link in the description. You can check there. Now, imagine a situation where this inspection activity is to happen at the vendor's premises. That is, you have an arrangement with the vendor that once the material is ready at the vendor's premises, you will visit the vendor's warehouse and will inspect the material. And if the material is accepted, you have to process the payment to the vendor. After that activity, vendor will supply you the material and then you have to update the stock. So your requirement is that you have to first post a movement type where the FI documents will get posted, but stock updation will not happen because the material has not yet reached your warehouse, but you have inspected and accepted the material and you have to process the payment to the vendor. In the next movement type, what you have to do is you have to update the stock of your material once it reaches your warehouse. You have to update the stock against the storage location. So this type of a situation is called origin acceptance. That is, the acceptance of material is happening at the origin of the material. That is the vendor's warehouse or vendor's premises. And this origin acceptance activity we can do through movement type 107 and 109. First we'll post movement type 107 where the material will not be received in stock, but FI documents will get posted. Okay, so material you will receive on value basis only, not on quantity basis. And this FI document you will use to process the MIRO transaction and process the payment to the vendor. Now, once you receive the material physically in your warehouse, then you will post a movement type 109 and then your stock updation will happen against the storage location. Okay, so let's see that in SAP and how we can mark a PO line item as origin acceptance item. That is, it is subject to inspection at the vendor's premises, and then how we will receive that material through GR through these two movement types. So let's start. So we'll start by creating a purchase order first. So we'll go to T code ME21N. Then we'll enter the vendor and we'll enter the header information. And then we'll enter a material code here. Let's say that we are buying some bearings from the vendor. We'll enter the plant, the net price. Let's enter some amount here and then some PO quantity. Now to mark this item as origin acceptance item, we have to go to the delivery tab and we have to select this checkbox, that is origin acceptance. Now once we mark this material as origin acceptance item, then we are saying the system that for this material, the acceptance, that is the inspection and acceptance activity has to happen at the vendor's premises. Okay. Now let's save this purchase order. Now to do the GR, we'll go to T code MyGo. We'll enter the purchase order and we'll press enter. Now you can see I have selected 103 as movement type. Now let's see what happens when I check this document. So if I click on check, now you can see system gives an error. It says that inadmissible movement type, acceptance at vendor set for PO item. Now why this error is coming? Because we have marked this PO line item as origin acceptance item and hence 103 document type is not possible. Okay, let's see in the PO again. Let's go to ME23N. So you can see this material has been marked as origin acceptance, and that is why we are not able to post 103 document. What we have to do here is we have to first post movement type 107. Okay, so again we'll go to MIGO and then we'll select goods receipt against purchase order. We'll enter the purchase order and here we have to change the movement type to 107. Okay. Now we'll click on item OK and we'll post. Now you can see movement type 107 has been posted. Let us display this document. Now if I go to FI documents, you can see that the accounting document has been created. As I told you, this time if I post 107 document, system will post the FI documents. Okay. If I double click this accounting document, I can see system has posted in the inventory GL a debit entry, and it has posted a credit entry in the GRIR GL. Okay. Now this GRIR entry you can use through MIRO transaction to create liability against the vendor and then process the payment to the vendor. Now let us see what has happened to the stock of the material. So let us go to T code MMBE and let us execute. Now you can see the stock has not been updated here. You can see that under unrestricted use, no stock is appearing. Although we have done GR through 107, FI document has been posted, but the stock has not been updated, and the stock has been updated against this column, that is the receipt valuated stock in transit. Okay. Now this is a valuated stock which is in transit. Okay. As I have told you, you will do acceptance at the vendor's premises, and then vendor will send you the material. So when you have posted 107, the material is still in transit and it has not reached your warehouse. Okay, your storage location. And that is why system tells you that receiving valuated stock in transit, and it shows that 10 quantity here. Now when we post 109 movement type, then this stock will come from here to the unrestricted use column. Okay, and then it will be ready for usage in your plant. Now before posting the 109 document, you can process the invoice of the vendor because the FI document was created during 107 document creation, and you can process the payment to the vendor. Let me just show you when we do MIRO what happens. So if I go to MIRO and if I enter the PO number, let's just enter invoice date. Now you can see this amount has appeared here. Even if the material has not reached my warehouse, even if I have not posted the material in the stock, I can process the MIRO and I can process the payment to the vendor. Because this is how the origin acceptance activity works, that you have accepted the material, you have posted the FI documents, and you can clear this GRIR entry through the MIRO transaction. Okay, so let's clear this. So let's simulate this. So you can see here the vendor liability is getting created, the GRIR entry is getting cleared, and you have a tax entry. Okay, so if we post this, then you can see the invoice entry has been done, and you can see this in the PO history also. Let's go to the PO history. And if you go to purchase order history, you can see that 107 document was created. Quantity is still showing as 0 because you have not received the material in your warehouse. Okay. But you were able to process the MIRO transaction and process the invoice of the vendor. Now in the next step, what we have to do is we have to post movement type 109 to receive this bearings in our stock once it reaches our warehouse. Okay. Once the material reaches the storage location, then you have to post the 109 document. So let's post that. So to post that, we have to go to again MyGo, and again we have to select release GR blocked stock, and that 107 document we have to enter. Now if you go to the where tab, you can see the system has automatically selected 109 movement type, and here you have to enter the storage location because now you are going to update your stock. So we'll enter the storage location, click on item OK, and then post. Now you see 109 document has been posted. Now if we display this document, if you go to document info and click on FI document, now you see no accounting document has been posted. Why? Because this accounting document got posted during 107 creation only. And now you're only updating the stock of the material. So now if we check the stock through MMBE, if we execute here, now you can see this 10 quantity has come under the unrestricted use column, and it has been removed from the stock in transit column. So this is all about how you can post two-step GR with origin acceptance. What you have to do is you have to mark the material as origin acceptance in the purchase order line item. This is this checkbox under delivery tab. You can see this origin acceptance checkbox is there. Then you have to post 107 document. against which FI document will get generated, and you will be able to process the invoice through MIRO and process the payment to the vendor. And once the material reaches your warehouse, then you have to post the 109 document. So you can see here 109 document was created, and now the quantity will get updated in the unrestricted use column in your MMBE transaction, and this quantity now will be available for usage in your plant. So I hope that you have understood this process, and I hope that you have liked this video. Now, if you like my videos, then please subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more videos on SAP MM. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks a lot.